Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Tyler. How's everybody today? Why is everybody always at the back of the room? We always like to vote that way. When people come in, they don't want to sit in the front, right, Brian?
Right.
It's all right. It's all good. Before we get started, I want to just mention a few people, if I could.
Oh, there you go.
I would like to mention that Wani is here. Michael Garcia has been with us for 3 years, not us, but Orlando Health, which is also us. So we're so glad that you're here with us now, Michael. It's awesome. Let's see. I don't see Mose. Is it because I'm too short, or is he not here? He's not here. Okay, well, Mose has been here 5 years, so please give him a little clap. And what about Glenn? He's not here on Friday, right? He's been here for 15 years, our Glenn. And we know that he's probably been here for 15, but he's worked for 25 for the amount of work that he does. He does awesome work. And we have another 15-year veteran hiding behind the pole. It's Mr. You gotta show your face. Paul Boise. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And last but not least, we have a 20-year veteran. Started right out of kindergarten. When you see him, Chris Sam. If you'd like to be the usher, Ray, thank you for volunteering. If you could show those people to the front, that would be awesome. Thank you. Very nice. Nicely done. Please come up front and sit because there's going to be tons of people. We'll wait for you. Come on, Drunay. Come on, Jerisha. Come on, Linda. Come on. Come on down. Dana Lee. Calm down. We need to have a sign that goes here like this. Up to the front. Up to the front. Remember, we're not calling anyone out. This is family, right? All right. So we've got a packed agenda, so you won't have to listen to me anymore. We're going to start out with a word from BJ Collette. She is our risk manager, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about our Never event, and then we're going to move on to benefits. So let's get started right away. And BJ, welcome.
Hi, thank you. I guess you can hear me. This is now, I got one thing in this hand and one in this. Okay, that'll work. Anyway, I want to talk to you about a Never event. Why do we call it a Never event? Never happened. Also, because you all do such a fantastic job of keeping us safe all the time. So we really should call it an extremely rare event. But we did have a Never event. So we had a retained foreign body. And so part of that is we have to do a follow-up. What is on the left side of the screen is that the sponge is the most common retained foreign body that happens all over the nation and even internationally. That is the most common retained foreign body. It is from human error. The national stats, these three things are the commonalities. It usually is associated with rushing or a change in the planned procedure. Another commonality is the patient, not us, having a high BMI, but the patient having a high BMI. And another commonality is poor communication in the team. You can change that slide. In our patient, there was no rush. There was no unplanned change in procedure. It was scheduled as a lap appendectomy with a possible plan to go open. The patient was morbidly obese. Poor communication, we did not find that, although it was a busy room. There were 2 orientees with preceptors, and there was 1 student observer, but there was no noted poor communication. We did put together an action plan. There will be audits going on for 6 months, 60 handoff and count audits. Preceptors we're going to more closely monitor that they're staying in the room, scrub for the first 2 weeks for scrub orientees and preceptors, and then staying in the room. We're going to be doing some preceptor classes and We're going to work on having a process of marking on the board or on the scrub or on the count sheet when there is a lap in the belly. We're going to be working with the surgeons on pulling that out. The other thing I want to add for all of you, speak out or call out when you find something you're in doubt or not sure of, whenever it comes with safety. We'll move on to the next slide, please. I want to talk about event reports. They're not bad things. They're not meant to be punishments or tattletaling. That's never what they're about. They help us track and trend things that are required to be reported under Florida law. I don't think most of you realize there is a Florida statute that requires us to have event reporting. Never events are identified as events where our actions or inactions cause or contribute to death, paralysis, fractures, loss of limb or neurological function, or brain damage. They would include also wrong site surgery, surgery on the wrong patient, performing the wrong surgery. Retained foreign bodies are called the never events. Any of these need to be reported to the risk manager and your supervisor as soon as possible. Other event reports are needed for, obviously, any of the above, but also any return to surgery during the same admission that was not planned. If you got a patient who's going back, like your trauma or your burn patient, where it's planned for them to keep coming back, that would not be. But an unplanned return to surgery during the admission, that I do need an event report on. An injury that occurred during the surgery, we need an event report on. Death in the OR, even expected. That would be maybe a trauma that came in and it was kind of iffy if they were going to make it. We still need an event report on that. Patient injuries, maybe their skin gets torn, maybe an injury from the equipment, a fall. I know we had a near fall from, where the structure material was loose from the adhesive. The Velcro, thank you. Or maybe there's abrasion, equipment breakdown or failures, supply issues, running out or defective supplies, delay issues, safety issues, surgical complications, also anesthesia complications or issues, consent issues. Even if you catch it and fix it, I love to hear about near misses because I can teach from them. Timeout issues, final closures, open abdomens with retained laps, plans. I don't like to know about the unplanned, but I need to know about them too. And unusual circumstances. Well, you guys gave me a great example of one recently. Fecal leakage running down the back of the dock. That's a pretty good example of unusual circumstances.
Let's clarify that came from the ceiling, not from.
But you did top out on a pretty good unusual circumstance I had birthday. And once again, they aren't meant to be punitive to you, your teammates, nor the physician. I don't want you to think every return to surgery gets the doctor in trouble, or every event report you make about something that didn't go right within the team gets that person in trouble. It's very rare. Now, with mandatory reporting to the state, yes, the people in the room's names do go on that report to the state. That's a mandatory law, okay? Because they are considered never events. But that's because the state tracks and trends them. Joint Commission looks at them. Okay, any questions for me? Thank you all for keeping us safe. Have a great day.
And remember, if you're in doubt, call it out. There's nothing that is, if you feel like you're intimidated for some reason, you just need to call for a manager to come in. I don't know why you would be, if you couldn't see anything, or if we're doing the count and you feel like or anything, and you just feel like something's not right and you feel like I can't speak out, there's a problem there that we need to address as a culture, as a group, because really anybody should be able to call anything out, even if they're an observer and they don't even know the OR. If they feel like something's not right, they should be able to speak up. Maybe they need education, maybe something isn't right and nobody else has picked up on it. So really that is, our culture is what we call just culture. It's anybody that sees something needs to say something. If it was you or your loved one that was having that operation and you found out that somebody saw or felt something wasn't right and it wasn't, and you didn't speak out, you would probably not be very happy with that. You would not feel that you're getting the best care, and that's what we're here for, right? Each other, we're here for each other, we're here for our patients, we're here for our surgeons, we're here with the focus of doing good, and y'all do that every day. No one comes in and intentionally says, you know what, I think I'm gonna not do something right today, right? But if you see something, speak out. If you don't feel you can speak out, if you're scrubbed, ask if you could you just call the manager to come in and see me for a minute? That will diffuse anything, maybe make you feel comfortable, or say, I just need to get some relief so that maybe you could go out. If you're the nurse in the room, pick up the phone, make a phone call. We want you to feel comfortable. We want everyone, PSA, LPN, neuromonitoring, I don't want to leave anybody out. LPN, I did say that right? Yeah. Anybody should be comfortable to say something. It's always good to say it in the right spirit, though, right? I feel like saying So thank you very much, BJ. You'll be hearing a lot more from me for those audits. We're going to produce 120 audits per month for the next 6 months. We will produce 120 audits, not me. We. So you will be participating, and it's meant to make you more aware, situationally aware, so that we can do the best, safest thing for our patient. Okay? Hoorah. Okay, awesome. So now we're moving on in our program, and Jessica has joined us to help us understand our new benefit, wonderful benefit package, actually. So I'm really excited that she was able to make it. And I saw Karen Rainier, our Vice President for Corporate Human Resources, has just slipped in. So we welcome you both and are so excited you could come to us.
Karen's like, no, I'll pass the mic to Karen. Well, good morning, everybody. I am Jessie Nelson. I'm the Corporate Director for Benefits. I'm over at the Team Member Center, so just down the street. I've been with Orlando Health all of 6 months now, and relocated from Wisconsin, so once in a while you hear me say things like Packers or something like that, but usually I didn't wear my cheesehead today. I did not. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about the wonderful benefits package that we have to offer. So we'll spend about 35 minutes in answering any questions that you guys have as well. Today we'll talk about benefit enhancements, about half of the presentation is on the medical plan, how to select a medical plan. We have new options for next year. Some nice changes to dental, life insurance, disability, and walk you a little bit through the enrollment process for next year as well. So first and foremost, our tagline this year is Active Enrollment Got Benefits for 2020. And being from the dairy state, it's totally stolen from the Got Milk campaign, I'm not going to lie. Got Benefits for 2020. If you have not completed your enrollment yet, the answer to that is no. If you do not enroll this year during active enrollment, you do not have benefits for next year. So that's a significant change. If you doze off through the rest of my presentation, I hope you don't. But the one thing to keep in mind is that it's an active enrollment this year. So if you want any benefits for next year, you have to go online and enroll. The default is waived for all those. It's really important. We're giving you extra time this year. So instead of 2.5 weeks, we actually are giving you 6 weeks to make those enrollment decisions. So you have from now until November 11th. So plenty of time. We've had almost 2,000 people go through and enroll already. But we have a pretty big ask to try to get 17,000 people, a few extra in 6 weeks. So please go online and enroll. I'll get into a little bit more at the end, but you can actually go online and enroll today and change your mind tomorrow and the next day and go in the system every single day and make changes. That's absolutely fine. So feel free to do that. I'd rather have you go online today, pick something, and then switch it tomorrow. So that's absolutely fine. So which benefits does this apply to? This is for your medical, your dental, your life insurance, flexible spending accounts. It does not apply to benefits that you can make changes to at any time during the year. So retirement plans, you don't have to take action right now. Your pet insurance, I know everyone loves the pet insurance, that's perpetual. You don't have to make a change to that. Your auto insurance, same thing. All right, so benefit enhancements, I'm gonna ask, I've seen them on the tables, I know some of you got them. How many folks got your Focus on Benefits magazine at home? If you have not received yours yet, they are available right now on Team Member Connect, so definitely go online and check that out. Also, if any of your colleagues are not able to make it here today, we have an audio recording of this PowerPoint. It's only 18 minutes when I talk online. It's a bit longer in person, but that's available for you as well. And we have a brand new SharePoint site that's got a lot of great resources for you, so definitely check that out on Team Member Connect. So highlights the changes. We're going to talk through medical, dental, that sort of thing coming up in a little bit. We're also enhancing the retirement plan. We'll be coming back around in December and January with Fidelity to talk about maximizing your match. So we may want to put a little bit more into our retirement plan to get that enhanced match for next year. The calculations are in the book. We're not going to spend a ton of time because you don't need to do anything today for that. Okay? A few other things going on. We're adding infertility coverage to all 3 medical plans. We're adding adoption assistance benefits for January 1st and actually October 1st, so just Tuesday this week. We enhanced our tuition reimbursement program, we added student loan repayment, we added backup child care, and we also added maternity transition and elder care. And those are all up and running. We also have access through Sitter City. It's kind of like here.com where you pay like a membership and you can post an ad and get help, except we cover the membership for you. So if you need to find a babysitter, you need to find a housekeeper, you need to find someone to walk your dog, we now have access to that as well. And believe me, on October 1st, I went, signed up right away, and my son is actually using the backup childcare today because he came down with a tummy flu. So I can say it works because I tried it out myself. So take advantage of that. All right, so medical program redesign. So we have 3 distinct new medical plan options for next year: the Orlando Health Exclusive Care, Care Plus, and HSA Care. Before we talk about what's different between the 3 plans, we'll talk a little bit about what's the same between the 3 plans. So first and foremost, we heard your feedback when you said that 10% coinsurance is a little tricky. Paying 10% at the end of all the claims is a little hard to calculate, so we did away with that. So coinsurance is gone. There's no more coinsurance in network for any of the 3 medical plans. So we're excited about that enhancement. I see a few people going, thank you, Jesse, thank you. So that's great. Thank Karen for that one for sure. All 3 of them have the same out-of-pocket maximum. So that's really worst case scenario. So let's say you had $100,000 in medical claims, you can't pay a portion of all of those. So if something horrible, something goes awry, you have a lot of medical claims, in network for single coverage, you're capped at $3,000 as your out-of-pocket max for all 3 plans. So you don't have to make a decision. If I would have a really awful year, which plan is better? So we took that guesswork away. It's the same for all 3 plans. Your preventative care is always covered at 100%. So your routine physical, when you go in under all 3 plans, 100% coverage for that. We use UMR for medical, Optum RX for prescription drug, same provider directory between the 3, so there's not a difference in the network. We also encourage you to have a primary care physician, but you don't have to have a referral before you see a specialist, so no changes there. And again, we added the infertility. All right, so looking at the 3 plans, think of your medical insurance a little bit like car insurance. So if you're comfortable having a higher deductible, the premium is going to be lower. If you want a lower deductible, premiums can be higher. So just think of it as an inverse relationship. So the first and foremost, exclusive care, I think is probably a little hard to read the back, if that's all right. Payroll deductions are going to be highest in this plan. Compared to the select plan today, it's comparable, maybe a little bit higher for that plan, but it's a more rich plan than we have today. So coinsurance is gone, deductible is lower, copays are lower than the select plan today. On the opposite side of that, payroll deductions under HSA care are actually quite low. And if anyone happens to have their book handy, on page 20 in the back of the book, they actually have our payroll contributions. So if you look at team member only coverage for HSA care, team member only coverage, regardless of the salary tier, and you've done your biometrics, it actually brings that plan down to 0 cost. I'll say that again. We actually have a free medical plan for next year for team member only coverage. So something to think about is a higher deductible plan, but I can't give you much lower than free medical coverage for next year. So something to think about. Sahan doing the back, for example, 566 minus 15 is a free medical plan. Karen says I can't pay you guys to take medical, so I'm just going in the reverse. But that does bring it down quite dramatically lower than what we had in the past. All right, so here's a slide. It's also on page 5 on your book. It does a side-by-side comparison of the plans. It is literally an eye chart for those in the back of the room, so we won't spend a lot of time here, but I'll walk you through each of the plans in more detail. So first up is our exclusive care plan. It's an exclusive provider organization. What that means is that it provides in-network care only. So it does not provide an out-of-network benefit, except in the case of a true emergency. And why do I stick that word true in front of emergency? About 45% of the visits that we have today to the emergency room for our health plan are not for emergencies. So we have people visiting the ER for strep throat. There's other opportunities we have for strep throat. You could go through your primary care physician, care spot. There's other places you could go for that that would be a lower cost option for you and for the health plan. So many of our routine services are covered with a flat copay. So for example, primary care physician, $25 copay, no deductible, no coinsurance, just a flat copay for that, $25. The deductible is very low for this plan. It's $250 for single coverage, and that's only being applied to your high-cost services. So if you're inpatient in the hospital, you need surgery in the hospital, you're going in for outpatient surgery, the deductible comes into play, and for many of those there's a copay as well. So that comes into play for those higher cost services. If you need an MRI, the deductible is being applied. And it's an annual deductible, so you meet that once. So you're not meeting that over and over again, but it's a very low deductible for that. Highest payroll deduction, we talked about this. This plan is eligible for a healthcare flexible spending account. So you can set aside pre-tax dollars to pay for that deductible and copay. And that is taken out throughout the course of the year. You get a debit card, we'll talk about that in a little more detail. Next up is Care Plus. So Care Plus is a preferred provider organization or PPO network. And this lets you know that we have in and out of network coverage. Being that we're all working in healthcare and we all believe in the care that we provide here, it's going to provide the highest level of coverage within the Orlando Health Network. So there is coverage out of network, it's not going to be as significant. So your deductibles will be higher and there is coinsurance out of network. So keep that in mind if you go to Aetna. It's going to have some coverage, but it's not going to be as high of coverage for you. Okay? For your routine services, again, you have a copay structure. They're a little higher, $5 more for your PCP, for example, $30 versus $25. So pretty close when it comes to copays. The difference here is the deductible. So it's a moderate deductible. It's $1,000 for single. So the other plan is $250. This one's $1,000. But again, it's only being applied for those higher cost services. So think about a typical year. In a typical year, do you have an inpatient surgery? Do you have outpatient surgery? Do you have an MRI? If you do, your deductible is being applied. If you don't, that might not be a deciding factor for you between the two plans. I had a coworker say, oh my gosh, the deductible is applied to the emergency room under the Care Plus plan. I said, yes, it is. And she goes, oh my gosh, I can't pick that plan because of that. I said, well, do you go to the emergency room quite often? And she said, I have not gone in 13 years. That maybe is not something that would likely happen next year. So think about it from a worst case scenario and a best case scenario. If that's something you typically don't do, is it likely that it will happen next year? So things to think. All right, last up is our HSA care plan. So this is a true high deductible health plan. So it's structured a little differently than the other programs in that you're paying the full cost of your medical and prescription drug until that higher deductible is met. So for single coverage, it's $3,000 deductible, so higher deductible. But once you've met that, it's 100% coverage for medical and prescription drug for the rest of the calendar year. So you don't have copays, you don't have prescription drug copays, it's covered at 100%. So structured a little bit differently. One thing I want to note, probably only the people up front can see it, but if any one person in your family is sick and you have 2 or more people in your plan, with a high deductible health plan, that one person has to meet the full family deductible of $6,000 before it becomes a 100% plan. For the first 2 plans I talked about, think of everyone in your plan as having single coverage. So it's $250 for the first person, $250 for the second, and if you have more than that, you're capped out at $500, for example, under exclusive care. This one, if there's one person sick, you're meeting that full $6,000 deductible. So something to keep in mind as you're selecting that plan for next year. This one has the lowest payroll deductions, and you're eligible to participate in a health savings account. So it's a little different. We'll talk about that in a minute. So a health savings account allows you to set aside $3,000 to cover your deductible and your costs under the HSA Care Medical Plan. So to have this plan, you have to be in a high deductible health plan to contribute to a health savings account. So how this works is you set aside pre-tax dollars towards those eligible expenses, but if you don't use it by the end of the year, it rolls over. You own this account, you take it with you if you retire or leave the organization. So it's not a use it or lose it plan, you own this account. So, for example, if I have family coverage, I can put a total of $7,100 into my health savings account. If I'm age 55 or older, I can put an extra $1,000 in. So I could put $8,100 into my health savings account. You might say, why would I want to do that? The deductible is $6,000. Well, it actually lowers my taxable income. So if you want to lower your taxes, it's a great way to do it. You can carry it forward into retirement. So a lot of folks like to use this as a retiree medical savings account to pay for retiree medical expenses in the future. So it's a nice way to lower your taxable income and carry that forward. With this, I almost forgot the most important part, we actually match your contributions as well. So for team member only coverage, we'll match you dollar for dollar up to $520. And for family, it's $1,040. So for family coverage, that really helps bring that deductible exposure down.
Does your premium go into that account or no? No. So that'd be additional.
The question, the question was, does your premium go into that account? It does not. That's pre-tax. So think of your payroll contributions as the ticket to ride. If you want medical coverage, you're paying that premium, but it's not going separately into an account because it's already pre-tax for that. But that's a great point. For example, exclusive care will cost you more out of your paycheck, regardless if you ever use it or not. This one will be less out of your paycheck, but more as far as deductible exposure. So let's do a couple examples, just to walk you through some things to think about when you're selecting a medical plan. So our first example here is Sally. She's single, she makes $35,000 a year, and she needs outpatient surgery that costs $5,000. And she never goes to the doctor before or after that ever during the year. I don't know what kind of surgery it was, but she just needed it that one day. So there you go. But that's all right. So she goes in and she has her outpatient surgery under exclusive care. She pays a $250 deductible and a $250 copay for that. So total of $500 payroll deductions, and that adds up to $1,609 for the year. Under Care Plus, the deductible of $1,000 comes into play. The copay is $350, so she's looking at $1,350 for that expense. Payroll deductions of about $800, so that's $2,145. And HSA care, the whole surgery gets applied to her deductible. So $3,000 gets applied towards her deductible. Payroll contributions of $205, so quite low payroll contributions. In the examples, nobody did the biometrics. It's a great way to save money. That would have been free for her, but that's okay. That would have been $3,205. So in this example, exclusive care was the lowest cost option for her out of the three based on what she went in for this year. We'll contrast that with a few other examples. So Angie's married. She has 2 kids, daughter out of state, and her family goes in for more routine services. They visit their PCP a couple times, specialists a couple times. So they're basically looking at co-pays under the first 2 plans. So pretty close costs and co-pays. But with HSA care, keep in mind all of her medical expenses would get applied to that deductible. So oftentimes we don't realize the cost of medications or the cost of an office visit because we're used to paying a copay. I had someone go into a high deductible health plan who was used to paying $10 for their drug. Under a high deductible plan, it was $150. And they went, oh my gosh, I didn't realize the cost of the drug. And oftentimes, because we just pay a portion, we don't know. So something to keep in mind. But Care Plus ended up being the lowest cost option for her. It's about $1,000 less in payroll deductions than exclusive care. In addition, it does provide out-of-network coverage. So with Care Plus and HSA care, there's out-of-network coverage as well. So that for Angie felt good to have some coverage in case her daughter needed it out of state, so that's available. Something to keep in mind though, Angie decided Care Plus over HSA care. She was concerned about that deductible exposure for family at $6,000, so she didn't want to go to HSA care, and that's her choice. Final example, John, he's married, he makes $95,000 per year. He goes into his preventative care, so that's covered at 100%, all 3 plans. Then he falls down, breaks a bone, goes to the emergency room. So I just want to spend a moment or two on emergency room because they work a little differently under each plan. So emergency room, for the first plan under exclusive care is a flat $150 copay. So regardless of what they do and what tests they run, an emergency room is a flat $150. Under Care Plus, that $1,000 deductible comes into play, plus a $250 copay. So the emergency room is $1,250 under Care Plus versus exclusive care. It was a cheap ER visit, I guess. It's $1,500. That whole amount is being applied to the deductible. Even with that exposure, for John, HSA care is actually cheaper and has the lowest total overall cost. So with that, John decides to take the difference between what he's paying for exclusive care and HSA care and fund the difference into a healthcare savings account, health savings account. So he ends up putting about $2,000 aside. We match that and put in $1,040 for him. So by the end of the year, he has $3,000 tucked away into his health savings account. He could use $1,500 for his emergency room visit. If that hadn't happened, he would have $3,000 in his account for the next year, or he can take it with him if he leaves the organization as well. Just another way to think about healthcare and think about your healthcare needs. Prescription drug coverage. Under HSA care, the full cost is being applied to your deductible. For exclusive care and Care Plus, the full cost, not the full cost. You're paying 20% of the cost of the drugs under either plan up to the retail or mail order maximums there. So same under each program there. So which plan is right for me? For everyone in this room, it's probably going to be a different answer. It's based on how you use the plan, who you have on the plan, do you need out-of-network care, do you have any surgeries coming up, maternity coming up, anything like that, the answer will be different. But we have a great tool online through Alex. It's on Team Member Connect right now. It's an online benefit counselor. It will take all of the information that you put in and tell you which plan is best for you. So you can say, I have 2 medications, I'm going to visit the doctor 3 times, and it will spit out and tell you which plan is best for you. To model the medical plan for about 10-15 minutes to do that modeling. You can do typical year, and you can also do worst case scenario. Alex is a chatty guy, so if you want to work with him, you want to do all your benefits, he'll tell you which dental plan to pick, how much life insurance, that sort of thing. It takes about 45 minutes. When I was testing it, I didn't realize quite that level of commitment I need from my time with Alex to make sure you plan for it. But it's a great tool. I see a couple people nodding who've had that last year as well, so definitely check that out.
I have a question. You said that, say like that one person had a college student that went out of state. How about a college student that goes out of Orlando? How far does your network reach? Is it in the state of Florida, or is it just pretty much here in Orlando?
Yes, the question was, where does the Orlando Health Network go? Primarily, it's the 4-county service area that we service. It's where the Orlando Health facilities and providers are located. We do have some that extend beyond that, but primarily in this area. We do have a few CareSpot and CareSpot partners that reach further out for urgent care needs, but not a lot. So we'll jump ahead to dental. So for dental, we have 3 dental plans. They remain with Cigna for next year. We gave them new names. They used to be called A, B, and C, so we gave them distinct names. Preventative Premier and our dental HMO. The underlying network, the underlying carrier is the same as what we have today. So nice enhancement for the preventative and Premier. The preventative and diagnostic services, so your cleanings and your x-rays, are going to be covered in full and not counted against your maximum. So that gives you more dental services available under each of the plans. So that's a nice enhancement there. For dental, think about your dental needs. You typically go in twice a year for your cleanings, or do you need braces for yourself, braces for your child? Do you need a crown? Different dental plans will cover those in different ways. So how we have it set up, the preventative and Premier use the Cigna PPO network. There's in and out of network coverage available. So if you love your dentist and want to stay with them, either of these 2 plans do offer out of network coverage for that. For the dental HMO, it's more narrow network and it's in-network coverage only. So if you're comfortable with that network, it's a great option for you. For preventative, it's for basically your routine cleanings and minor care. So it's going to cover like a filling, for example. So if you need just a little bit of dental work done, that's a nice option for you. Premier, again, broad PPO network, in and out of network coverage. That covers up to $1,500 for your dental maximum. It's going to cover 50%, for example, on your major services, like the crowns and root canals and things of that nature. The last one, the dental HMO, in-network coverage only, and it actually has the lowest payroll contributions, and there's no dental maximum. A little bit contrary to what I said on the medical plan, this one's actually lowest cost and gives you the most benefit, but there's a more restrictive network. So there's a little bit of a trade-off there. With the dental HMO, is a copay-based model. So instead of paying 50% of your crown, you pay a flat copay, and someone asked me how much a crown was. It was $200, so you pay your copay and then the plan pays the rest. So if you want to know how much a crown costs, there's a whole dental fee schedule up on Chamber Fact. It's about 20 pages. You can look and go, oh, orthodontics, here's what my cost share is for various services. So there's no maximum on that one. You just pay copay when you go in based on the service received. Moving on, we are switching for life insurance and disability from the Hartford over to Cigna. So we're switching that up one-to-one. Things to note on this slide, Cigna is treating us as if we're all new hires. And that's a good thing when it comes to life insurance. So for life insurance, we haven't switched carriers for more than 13 years. So this is a 1 year. If you want to sign up for life insurance, you can do so without answering any health questions up to certain amounts. So for supplemental life insurance, the benefit is 1 to 5 times your salary. You can do 1 to 3 times your salary without any health questions being asked. This year only. The reason that I mention that is next year, any amount of life insurance will require that medical questionnaire to be completed. For spousal life, the benefit is 10,000 up to 100,000, 50,000, no health questions asked. And for children, it's 40,000, no health questions asked for that. If you've already been approved at higher amounts, if you already have 4 or 5 times your salary, you can keep that amount. Cigna is honoring what you had before, but you do need to go into the online system and make that enrollment selection. All right. For leave of absence, January 1st, we'll have a new company that will help us through that called the Reed Group. Cigna is the insurer, and the Reed Group kind of helps us out with family medical leave, short-term disability. If you already have an approved leave, the Hartford will transfer that over to the Reed Group, so you don't have to take action. They'll take care of that for you. The mic didn't pick that up. She was just expressing her love for the Hartford, I think, up front. And speaking of loving our vendors, we were in a 3-year contract with Discovery Benefits for flexible spending accounts. We heard feedback, lots and lots of good feedback. Karen's down here had lots and lots of feedback on Discovery. Tried to make that relationship work, give them feedback, opportunities all along the way. We just got to the point where it's not going to work out. So we're parting ways with Discovery, and we have a new flexible spending account, health savings account, and COBRA vendor for next year, WageWorks. WageWorks has a partnership with Health Trust. They do great work. They do an amazing job, and they have a lot of very convenient reimbursement options. So let's say you never want to look at a flexible spending account debit card again for the rest of your life. I understand. They will get file feeds from UMR to know which of your qualified medical expenses can count against your flex. They will take the money from your flex and send you a check. You don't even have to submit your claims if you don't want to. They'll take care of that for you. If you do want to use your debit card, you totally can. You can take a picture of your receipt, upload it. That's a great option. They'll also have all your claims from UMR, so you can say, oh, that $25 copay that I swiped was for that claim on the same date. You can substantiate yourself because all your claims will be there. You can also pay your provider. So daycare or healthcare provider, they'll send the provider the money. So lots of great reimbursement options for next year to make it a lot more smooth. So we apologize for the bumps we've had this year, but we have a great solution for next year. WageWorks is also offering a commuter benefit. So let's say you take SunRail or you take the Lynx bus, you can pay for that pre-tax next year. So think of it kind of like an Amazon cart. You'll have your own little cart with WageWorks. You can go on their website, and you can actually do this every month, so you don't have to do that today. You can sign up for your bus pass, and we'll take that out pre-tax for you, and WageWorks will send you the bus pass directly to your home. And if you want to set up a reoccurring, like every month I want my bus pass, you can do that, and we'll take it up pre-tax from your paycheck. So a nice feature for next year from our partners with WageWorks. So you save 20-25% on your bus pass. Oh, so I have asked if I can pay my tolls pre-tax, and I was told no. I have 3 different people. I keep asking, the answer still no. I've tried it.
That's important.
For a year pass. I have to come up with the $840 all at once, like to get a year pass.
No, it comes out as payroll deductions throughout the course of the year.
So I can get the year pass.
And then you have it divided into the over.
In order to pay that.
Correct.
But I think, how do I get the money right away though to buy this pass?
So you sign up and you say, I want the pass, they'll send it to you, and then they'll just divide the cost of it over the course of the year.
Get the pass at the beginning.
You get the
Pass
pass.
up front, so we don't pay for that.
So to do the bus pass, it'll be available January 1st.
So travel expenses only for buses and planes?
So for the commuter flexible spending account, it is public transportation expenses. So I just gave the bus and the train as examples, but there might be some other avenues as well. I don't know if helicopter rides count. So fly in, park my jet somewhere, but all right. So a couple more slides and then I'll let you guys get on your way today. So the online enrollment experience has been upgraded. So we made some nice enhancements to the system to enroll. We've gone through recently as new hires. We find it a much better experience for you. So you can actually go to Team Member Connect from work, from home, from your tablet, from your phone. You can do that wherever you're at. So that is great. If you do access it from your personal device, you need multi-factor authentication set up. Don't ask me how to do that. Call our friends in IT, they can help you through. I have heard if you change your phone number or change your phone, you'll have to go through it again. So make sure you do that. Or you can do it on your work device, that's fine as well. It works best on Internet Explorer, Chrome, and Safari. So if you like Firefox, weird things happen, and I'm sorry, but try one of the other ones. That should work just fine. Confirm your address, your phone number, your emergency contacts, your beneficiaries. It's really good to do that once in a while, just make sure everything's correct. I had someone tell me, you know what? I set up all this stuff when I was hired 20 years ago, and I kind of set it and forget it, never touched it again. A lot of things changed in 20 years, and so just make sure your beneficiaries, your emergency contacts are as you intend. For emergency contacts, let's say you have an accident at work and you're lying on the floor and we're trying to get a hold of your spouse, and you put their phone number in as same as mine. So we're calling them when your phone's ringing in your pocket, that is just much more. So please, don't check same as mine, put an actual phone number, work phone number, some other way to get a hold of them. For your life insurance beneficiaries, again, life events happen. If you've had team members who are married, that relationship didn't work out, got divorced, got remarried, have kids, and then passed away, hadn't updated their beneficiary, we had to pay the life insurance out to their ex-spouse. Florida law, Carrie knows it's true. Florida law says we pay it out to whoever you have designated as your beneficiary. We've had people set themselves as their beneficiary. That's just not going to do you much good. So please make sure if nothing else as you're going through it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that lady was talking about beneficiary. Just check it once a year. All right. If you're adding any new dependents to the system that have never been covered before, you'll need their date of birth and so should we have that dependent eligibility audit. You don't have to go through that again if you've already gone through that for those dependents. You don't have to do it twice. So you'll go through make your benefit selections. The default for every plan is WAIT. So if you want any benefits, you have to say medical, here's the plan, dental, here's the plan. Make those elections. Once you're done making your elections, you'll look for the save and continue button at the bottom. I have done it about 100 times in the test system. The save and continue button is up at the top. So you'll be looking for it down here. You can't find it. You'll think you broke it. Scroll up to the top. Save and continue is right up there for you. When you do that, a big box will pop up and will say, do you want to finalize your elections? Until you hit finalize elections, it does not send your elections over to us in the Team Member Center. You're not done yet. So you have to hit that finalize elections button. A confirmation statement will pop up. It will say, hey, Jesse, here's what you picked for next year. Fantastic. And it will send a copy to your Orlando Health email. That's how you know you're done. Okay? If you go in the next day, you'll get another confirmation statement the next day. That's totally fine to do. You can change it every day up until November 11th. So what you have on the last day is what you have for next year. Okay? So if you forgot your username and password, hopefully not. Hopefully you're using your computers, but call the IT help desk for that. Not sure which plan to select. Alex, our online benefit tool, will help you with that. We have an enrollment assistance meeting, so if you need help enrolling, the dates and times are up on Swift. We were here earlier this week helping people enroll, and we're in the North Tower next week. So come by, check that out. Read your Focus on Benefits booklet. Visit Team Member Connect, our new intranet site, a lot of information there. Reach out to HR Solutions if you have any questions. We're here to help as well. And we're also doing weekly emails with important tips the notes to help you out. So that is the end of the formal presentation. I will open it up for any questions, and if you guys have any personal questions, we'll stay afterwards for help this morning.
For the HSA, for the Orlando Health, the employer gave for the healthy employee, get that right away, or is that over the year?
So the question was, the health savings account the employer match is made dollar for dollar. So if you put that in, like if you put in $6,000, you get that $1,000 from us in the first few months. So it goes in. Yeah, it matches you dollar for dollar, so as soon as you get that, you get that from us. Every pay period.
What if I have a heart attack on January 5th? Barely put money in, I don't have any match, all of that $6,000 comes out of my pocket?
So the question,
Does it eventually?
yeah, so the question was a high deductible health plan. So I have a high deductible health plan, I have family coverage, I have a $6,000 deductible, January 5th, I have a heart attack. The money is not in my health savings account yet, that is correct. So your deductible exposure is $6,000, unlike a flex where you get access to all of it day one, but it's use it or lose it. With a health savings account, you can pull out what is in there, but the nice thing with it is you don't have to substantiate your claims each and every time. You save a file of them in case you're audited by the IRS, but you don't have to provide documentation for every claim. WageWorks actually is a nice app that you can track your HSA expenses if you so choose. However, once the money is in there, you can pull it out. Your card will work at an ATM. So you repay yourself when the money is available in your account. But technically, January 1st, if you have a $6,000 claim, you're responsible for that.
Tuition reimbursement, I know you changed the company now. How do you sign up for the new tuition reimbursement?
Yeah, tuition reimbursement, just call Karen. Just teasing. Just teasing. So in the back of the book, there's a vendor contact list of all of our vendors for next year. For tuition reimbursement, it's EdAssist. Their phone number and website is in the back of the book. It's also up on Team Member Connect. I have been told if you launch Swift through the Internet Explorer 11 icon and then go to EdAssist, for some reason it was breaking earlier this week. But if you just go Internet Explorer normal and type in Swift, you can get right through it. So it does single sign-on. It will log you into EdAssist. You'll be able to apply right there. And if you get stuck on anything, give them a call or HR Solutions and we can walk you through it. Oh, that was just a stretch. I thought it was...
Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry. For the HSA, about how much would a virtual visit cost? It wasn't up there, but what's the cost of
Sure.
virtual?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So for HSA care, folks are asking how much do different things cost. So virtual visit, $45. The virtual visit guy was at the table next to me, and I asked him yesterday. Virtual visit is about $45. Primary care, generally speaking, is about $100 to $150. Specialists, $200 to $250. Urgent care depends, kind of in that same sort of range. So emergency rooms can be more expensive, and that'd be $1,000.
Can I ask about ELD? I don't see it in my paycheck stub anymore like I used to. And has anything changed with that? Is it capped or?
Nope. So the question is on the ELB, what has changed? So the thing that has changed is the name is different, so it's extended plan instead of bank. So the P changed to a, or B changed to a P. The other thing is it's not showing up on the pay stubs. It's still in Team Member Connect. You can look at your balance. You still get the same accrual. You can accrue up to 32 hours per year. Nothing has changed. We took it off the pay stubs because people were saying, well, I'm leaving the organization to pay me out, and that bank has no terminal value. So there's no cash value to that. You cannot cash it out when you leave the organization. By showing it on pay stubs, people were thinking, I now have a benefit when I leave. And that's not the case at all. So we took it off the pay stubs, but it's still there, still accruing the same amount, and just the name changed for that money.
You take a cash out on that HSA?
No, we don't. So changes for that. So the question was, ELB if I retire from the organization. So in the past, if I didn't take all my ELB time, I got to retirement, we looked at what you had in your bank, and we paid out up to $5,000. But if you used a lot of ELB and I didn't, you would get a lower payout than I would. And going into retirement is not based on how sick you were or weren't during the course of the year. So we stopped that connection to ELB and retirement because there's nothing related to you being sick or healthy and your retirement with us. So we turned that off because ELB really has no cash value. It's there if you need it, if you don't, there's no value to it. What we did instead said, same qualifications. So if you get to retirement, the qualifications are a combination of your age and years of service that add up to 75. So quick math on a Friday morning is I've been here 20 years and I'm 55 years old. So age and years of service would be 75. I had a sweet lady at one of my sessions go, I don't know if I qualify for it or not. And I said, well, how long have you been here? And she said, 40 years and I'm 72. I said, ding, 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 you're good to go, absolutely. Absolutely. I said, come talk to me on January 1st. Because we changed the plan around, and basically, if you meet the age and there's a service requirement, we will give you $5,000 into your retirement account, and it's just a gift from Orlando Health. So it's called a retirement gift, not tied to your EOB bank. Same amount, $5,000.
So it pays to stay.
Pays to stay, or pays to retire January 2nd. Just so you Okay, so the question was tuition reimbursement if I'm already in progress and I'm in the middle of my semester and I've got approval under the old program, how do I transition into payment basically? So Ed Assist and HR Solutions were sending out target emails. You don't check your emails. Well, check your emails, that's number one. But HR Solutions reached out to everyone, gave them step-by-step instructions if you're in progress, how to transition. The payment will be made through Ed Assist. You do need to go online, create a portal, and the portal and create an account, and you'll submit the grades online, and then get the reimbursement through Ed Assist. No, you don't have to back up in paper. And your approval at the front end, it takes about 2 or 3 days. It routes to your leader, and they say, yep, you're in good standing, and then it gets approved. So you don't have to wait 2 months for the approval that we've had in the past. The committee had only met every 2 months, so it's a little longer lifetime. Now it's just a few days. Yep. So the question was, I need a babysitter this weekend. But if you do, the Center City code and all of that is up on Team Member Connect. So if you have, click on Team Member Connect and it's like 2020 benefits, you'll see this icon up there. The blue one is work-life balance. So under work-life balance is where you'll find all the Bright Horizons information. And it'll have the username and password. I think the username is Orlando and the password benefits for you or something like that. It's a cutesy little thing, but it's up there and posted. So WageWorks, you can't actually take any action until January for that. WageWorks has a bunch of flyers that tell you about it, but you can't actually go in until January 1st for that one. It would be up on, yep. Yeah, so watch Swift. This week on Swift we did a, hey, 4 new benefits this week kind of thing. So we'll do the weekly news alerts and then we'll post it on Swift.
I didn't hear you speak about anything about, if we want to go off and get a degree or education or anything. Can you give a little synopsis of that?
No, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so we were told to only do a half hour on these forums. I had presented an hour-long presentation, and they told me I couldn't talk about every benefit every day, which is fine. We're doing this 71 times, so I guess no one wanted to hear me speak that much, which is totally fine. But tuition reimbursement, wonderful enhancements for that. So it's up to $5,000 for any degree that you want. So it's associates, bachelor's, master's, doctoral degrees. It doesn't have to be related to your career at Orlando Health. It doesn't have to be related to even the work that we do here. So the joke with one of our presidents, he was joking that he wanted a bachelor's in interpretive dance. And I don't know if Mark dances that well, but that's what he was joking with us on. So who knows? But we use that as a joke, but it could be whatever you want to go for. So the change in the program is be your best self. And if you want to get your degree in dance, if that's a thing, go for it. So it doesn't have to be something that you do here. The other change that we made is we took out all the restrictions. In the past, you had to stay for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or something like that. We're the best place to work. We think that you'll want to stay with us. So we took those strings off on the back end. So you don't have to stay for a year or two after you finish your degree. That requirement is gone. So nice enhancement. We've also made the enhancement to do the automation to enroll online. So you enroll through Ed Assist. And they also have discounts on tuition through a variety of different programs. So many schools will offer 10, 15% off. We're also working with schools to see if they'll offer us deferred payment options. So you could take the class, pay at the end, and then we'll reimburse you the next week. And a really nice option there. So we're working on a couple with that. But Edisys does have some of those programs in place already today, which we couldn't take advantage of before we had that. So that's kind of in a nutshell. There's also professional certificates. Let's say I wanted to get a certificate in HVAC. I go to a technical school for a year and I get a certificate at the end. That would be covered through tuition as well. So one caveat, like let's say I want to go back to get another HR certification, that would go through my department budget. Because I'm doing self-study, I take a test at the end, that would go through department professional development if there's a budget. I'll stay after, if anyone has any questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Karen. We appreciate all of y'all and your expertise. And all right, let's get registering. Remember, you don't ask, you don't get, right?